Good after morning, everyone. Welcome in. I wasn't just blowing my nose just as the countdown finished. Then you guys were, right? Right. Welcome in to twitch.tv/Ice Cream Waffles. My name is Graham Day, and I'm joined by the man that we call BB. I'll read Bib.
That is me. How are we doing, Graham?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad, love. So, yeah. If I do sound a bit gravelly, it's because I have literally just smashed a chicken sandwich. We had some chicken strips, some cheese, some bread rolls, bams, tea cakes, butties, stotties, whatever you want to call them. Wherever, would you cobs? I'm not asked. We're not having that banter. Some social media manager somewhere who's looking for a bit of engagement will bring that argument back up one day.
Fucking hell, size of this moth.
Size of this moth. And they can have the clicks and the engagement of that. We don't need it here because we've got shitloads of news, though. But I did have a big sexy bacon chicken sandwich. So yeah, I'm not even apologising. Is what it is. I'll reach Pip.
Hi, Graham. Yeah, I had a sausage and hash brown butty before.
Oof.
See how I avoided all of the controversy of a muffin, a bam. Just went for butty.
Good lad.
So yeah, it's I'm pretty full of more. However, we've got some like cherries and berries, Aldi's juice. It's really nice, but I feel like it's not a thirst quencher. I feel like it makes my throat like drier.
Yeah,
it feels like it's a weird one. It's not your classic Vimto that's just thirst quenching left, right, and center. But this, it feels like I need to drink more to get rid of the clagginess that has just been left in my mouth from said drink.
It's a weird one, and I don't know. I don't have the word to describe it. There's probably some berry expert out there that could give me a word to describe it. But when I have anything like that, it leaves. It's almost like, for want of a better word, and I know these words are wrong. I know it before I say it, but like it's almost like almost peppery, almost spicy, almost scratchy. And it's not peppery or spicy or scratchy, but it just leaves a weird in the back of my throat. Like, yeah, 12 was put dry as fuck. Yeah, that's it. It just dries it out, and I just feel like...
Yeah.
So, yeah, no.
You drink to, like, rehydrate and just, make it just be nice. Quench the thirst. It's really nice. I just don't think it's going to be my preferred drink going forward. It's not going to get rid of Vimto out of the house, put it that way.
No, I mean, obviously, it goes without saying. Like drinking when you're hungover doesn't work. What drinking?
Lucozade Orange, that sorts you fucking right out. If you've been on the sesh the night before, one bottle of Lucozade Orange. I'm talking like the ones that you get as part of your Tesco meal deal or something like that.
500ml bottles.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go for the litre, Graham. I mean, I'm not. Usually the litre is cheaper than the fucking small ones. Don't ask me why. I've never understood it, but yeah, Lucozade Orange it'll sort you right out.
I wasn't sneezing, you were sneezing. It's fine.
No, right, okay.
It doesn't rehydrate. Yeah, banana milkshake. That's what you want, a banana milkshake. Get rid of replace that potassium lost. The banana's full of all the potassium that your body's lost just dealing with all the alcohol. Big, sugary banana milkshake. Oosh. If you can do homemade banana milkshake, that's ideal. I mean, bananas from McDonald's, banana milkshakes from McDonald's probably don't contain bananas. Or milk, but it's probably shaken, so, same. But homemade, shitloads of milk, 2, 3, 4 bananas. I know that's like a meal. Some honey, some sugar. Jobs are good.
You were shitting through the eye of a needle for the rest of the night.
I got to...
Be hydrated, but then you'll have to find something else to try and leave the void.
2 bananas, like a pint of milk, some honey, like 2 spoons of sugar or whatever. And then if you want to throw in some chocolatey bits or whatever, jobs are good and whatever, but you don't even need it. Good old pot of Yorkshire tea works wonders.
Yes.
I mean, I'll go for a coffee, but that doesn't help when I'm dehydrated after a sesh. So, banana milkshake. Let's go. Anyway, are you hungover? Well, if you are, don't worry, sit still. We've got some news for you. We can keep you entertained for the next hour or so, as we're going to run you through the biggest, the best, and breaking stories from the world of video games. Why? Well, it's just what we do. It's what we've done like nearly 700 times. I said nearly. We're beyond 700 episodes now yet.
No, we're not. We are. I think this is 698.
698? Woo! Wow, Tuesday will be our 700th episode. Spectacular.
Yeah. Outrageous.
I mean, we have nothing planned because it's just another news day. But still, you get the idea. Anyway, we are here to bring you the biggest, the best, the breaking stories in the world of video games, and we will give you our thoughts and impressions, and we want to hear your thoughts and impressions, plus your thoughts and impressions on our thoughts and impressions. So please do feel free to get involved in the chat. And it's important that you do, because we are live on Twitch, where we go live each and every single weekday at 10 a.m.-ish. It's not even 1 o'clock, so that's 10 a.m.-ish. Nice. We go live at 10 a.m. I mean, anytime it's 10 a.m.-ish, but being honest. But so yeah, we go live at 10 a.m.-ish. The live stream, though, is turned into a podcast, a video on YouTube, and an audio podcast on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, and Google Play. So there is lots of places where nearly 200,000 people have watched and listened to this podcast on demand. So please do feel free to get involved on behalf of those beautiful people that do watch and listen later on. Whilst we're talking about that, Bib,
Yes.
switch over to the big Bib cam. Skadoosh. There's been some changes in the podcast stuff. Not that people should notice, but you've been doing some housekeeping.
Yes, I have. So, as of this podcast today, it's something that I need to go back over and just make sure that we have a banner or something put on there. But SoundCloud will no longer host this podcast. So we've been using SoundCloud since its inception in October 2019. We have since moved over to Anchor, which is
Sorry, what now? To where? You need to leave a bit of space before you say to an Anchor, because it's
yeah. We've now moved over to Anchor, which is owned by Spotify. Which actually does 95% more work than what I do, so I'm just kind of kicking myself out of a job here. But it actually disperses all of our podcast, from Anchor, moves it over to iTunes and obviously onto Spotify and Google Play, but has now added us to Amazon Music as well, which is their podcast feature on that. Basically, it kind of cheats the algorithm, which means that it's really bizarre. Actually, I probably shouldn't tell people this anyway, but I'll do it regardless.
Cheat.
So on the day that we posted that we moved over to Anchor, that day's podcast went out, and the analytics shown that it was up like 700% in viewership. Because I don't know if it just like sparks an algorithm thing, and then it just puts new podcast, which it's not, but it's new to Anchor, and disperses it onto different platforms that we've never used before. So there's been instances where our podcast has been listed on like Podbay, and no one was there to claim it because I didn't put it on there. It's just part of an RSS feed that's gone around the world. So we have since claimed that. We've claimed a couple off the off other websites too. But yeah, we've moved over to Anchor. This shouldn't change anything for you guys. It just means that you should get a much better experience. We do have a landing page now, which I'm going to drop into the chat for you guys. It basically just means that everywhere that you can find this podcast, we do now have one central hub for it, rather than you go into SoundCloud and then moving over to Spotify and then Google Play or whatever. Everything is hosted on that one page. So if there's a podcast service that you enjoy, you're not subscribed to Spotify, but you do have an Amazon Music account, you obviously got the option to be able to use all of that too. So yeah, nothing should change for you guys. It's just made our lives incredibly more difficult and actually costs us nothing compared to what it was costing us before.
It's made our lives more difficult? More easier.
Is that what I said?
Less difficult. But it doesn't.
Is that what I said?
Yeah, you said it's made our lives incredibly. And I was going to say that easier. And then you went more difficult. I was like, why did we do this then?
Yes, I just wanted to give myself more work. I want to try and make myself
more difficult, like Bibby trying to say a sentence without fucking
nothing
up.
Should change for you guys. You should definitely have the everywhere that you usually watch it. Apart from SoundCloud, if you was one of the few that used it over there, you're probably never going to hear this. You'll probably go onto the page and be able to see it, because we do have Spotify listeners over on SoundCloud, and I do apologize, but we need to evolve, and I feel like this is the best way for us to be able to do it.
Yeah, SoundCloud is fake metrics in essence, and it does some of the heavy lifting, but the world has moved on and SoundCloud hasn't, so we've had to move on. So I need to change that, because I said this podcast is available on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud. No, it's not. Amazon Music and Google Play. Let's go. Nice.
Yeah. It does, however, mean that if you are listening to this on Spotify, which I know a lot of you guys have started to move over to listen to, which is great from our perspective. That and iTunes are our much preferred podcast services. It does mean that we are actually having the ability now to put Q&As into onto Spotify. So if you're listening to this, a Q&A might be able to pop up. You might be able to we can run polls so you guys can give us your feedback at the same time. So yeah, there's a lot more things that are available to us for nothing compared to what we was paying for. You think paid services have a bit more to it, but unfortunately they don't compared to what we're getting now. So yeah, we have the ability to be able to reach out to you guys and get some feedback on all of our podcasts as well.
Absolute no-brainer. If you are interested in podcasting, as Chappers has pointed out, I did say this before, Chappers, but I'll let you off because you've thrown down a sub. So we definitely are shields that are easily bought, 100%. We have moved over to Wanker. But the first time Baby said it, he said it that fast, so I made him go back and say to Anchor. But then he said it 2 more times to Wanker as well. So we are 2 wankers that have moved over to Anchor. There you go. And 2 anchors everywhere, exactly. So yeah, we moved over to Anchor for our podcast host. Basically, we throw the podcast on Anchor and it throws it everywhere else for us. We used to use SoundCloud, which cost money, which is, if you wonder where the subs go, thank you very much for the 32 months, Chappers, by the way, who says more difficult, like Bibby trying to say a sentence without fucking up. Exactly. It's made it more difficult for us. So if you wonder where the money from the subs goes, that's what it goes into subscriptions and things like that we have to keep paying to keep things up to date. But Anchor means that we can save some of that cash, put it into other things, and we get that page that Bibby has just linked in, anchor.fm/ice-cream-uploads. Excuse me. So that is the link in there, and you can check it out. It has all of, I say all of, it doesn't have all of the podcasts. The one thing that is bad about it is it doesn't have the full library of 700 podcasts. You only get about 300 to 450 hours worth of content from us. Only. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, luckily, this podcast is a daily thing, so the news that was relevant 4 years ago, I mean, we call back to it quite frequently, but in terms of full podcast episodes, you're probably never going to go back and listen to the early show stuff because the news then was highly irrelevant compared to what it is now. So, yeah, it's something that we have to roll with. It's something that was one good thing of paying for SoundCloud. It gives you the full history of the nearly 700 episodes, but everywhere else it just gives you like the top. I think iTunes actually catches it, and they've got all the episodes over there. But in terms of Spotify and other ones, it only caches like for your latest 300-400, something along those lines, which isn't the end of the world for us.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna sneeze. Keep talking, babe.
So yeah, we've got some new branding being put out for the Scoop. So it's still the same logo, still the same background, but basically just advertise where we are going to be now. They did try, the cheeky bastards, they did actually try putting their Anchor logo. When you go to put your new profile picture up, it says, would you like to include the Anchor logo in this? And it actually does look okay on there. It's not intrusive by any stretch of the imagination on there. But I thought, do you know what? Unless you're paying us to advertise on there, then probably not.
Get us a couple of sponsors, and then jobs are good, and you can have the logo for as long as you want. Nice, but until that point, no, we don't get no free rides. God damn. Does this mean our subs can go towards more loot drops that Beans will win now? No, we just give him the cash. We just give it straight to him now. So same amount of loot drops plus we give Beans a bit of money. It's like being on the wage bill, but not actually doing anything. So let's go.
Like me.
Exactly, yeah, same. Daily? Ha! More like daily-ish. No. Silencer.
I mean, oh no, you haven't got your clip, have you? You haven't got your clip, so it's irrelevant.
What's that?
I was going to say we could have done the thingy today, couldn't we? The Twitter Spaces, but you haven't got your clip for your phone.
No. It's not. It's the adapter. Although, Danielle did say something the other day that we could technically try it. We'll leave it for now, but we could, maybe after this, we'll just do a little bit of a test or something. Because you can turn off the auto disconnecting when you take your earpods out. There's a setting within the actual thingy that turns off that sort of stuff. So maybe that might actually work in that sort of sense. But we'll do some jiggery pokery, easy tiger, not like that. Off stream. Nice. Cuts out the middle that way. Yeah, just give Beans a couple of quid. Job's good. Nice. We'll help Beans buy new glasses that his cat can steal.
The more you eat, the more you...
Oh, you fucking cunt!
Oh, you fucking cunt. If anyone wonders what that noise is, that isn't Beans. That is just some random Australian dude getting angry for no reason. Who was it that pointed out? Was it you, 12, that's like, why does Beans get Australian in that clip? I was like, I'd never heard it. And now you said it, I can't unhear it. So nice. Good eye, mate. Bonza, you flaming la. Anyway. Enough of that. Let's jump into a split screen so I can take Bibby out of the studio because he's probably in the studio. Yep, I see you, studio. You're not in the studio, Bib. God damn.
I'm not.
You're at Bibby's home. There you go.
Home.
Nice.
I need to date that.
What, the picture of Joseph?
Yeah. I'm putting a more modern one on because that is super baby Joseph. That's like 3-month-old Joseph. That.
Nah,
and now he's walking. He's just a little terrorist now.
It's all right. He's only going to be a terrorist for just another 15 years. Jobs are good. For anyone that isn't here for terrorism, though, we do have video game news. And last night was a big day for video games. If you're a PlayStation gamer, well, if you're a PlayStation gamer with a focus on VR specifically, as everything that was announced in Sony's PlayStation State of Play last night, we will go over. And obviously, we did mention the day before that it is PSVR focused. I said last night? Was it last night? It was last night, right? Yeah, it was that.
The State of Play was, yeah.
Yeah, okay, nice. I was thinking because we missed a day, maybe it was the night before, but no, it was last night. Nice. So there's a lot of PSVR news, and there's a lot of, not Gotham Knights, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League in there as well. So we'll go through all of that content. We'll then start talking about Star Wars Jedi Survivor, which has a novel that has been released, which gives you a free preview chapter. Nice. Shinji Mikami, who has been working at Bethesda for 12 years, well, technically Tango Gameworks, has decided that he's fuck this shit, I'm out. Basically because of the stats that came out.
God.
He's called God. Oh, sorry, God. Sorry, Gordon. So Gordon Mikami. Go on then, Gordon.
Go on then, Gordon.
So Shinji Mikami is leaving Tango Gameworks after 12 years, and the reason confirmed for that is because PlayStation has 70% of the market worldwide, and he's like, why am I making games for an inferior bit crap brand? That's not really the reason. I'm just pulling your pecker. Nice. We'll go through that, and then we'll talk about the free games. It's Free Game Friday, but we have two versions of it. We have your PS Plus Essential games that have been announced. Nice. Free games next month on PlayStation. Let's go. Plus the stuff that we usually wrap it up with as well, which is the true Free Game Friday, which is what's free on the Epic Game Store this week. So stick around if you want to find out what freebies you can get. We'll run you through all of that. But for now, did you watch State of Play, babe? I
did not, because I was playing football.
You was playing football? Digital or physical?
Physical football. Thursday is football.
You went outside?
And I did. It was fucking freezing as well.
Not only touch grass, but ran on it.
The term run has definitely got some caveats to it.
Existed on the grass. Collapsed. That'd be me. That'd be me.
Why are you saying this, Gray? Why are you doing this to me?
I remember the last time I played 5-a-side. Was it 5-a-side or was it 11s?
6.
Oh, 6-side. Okay, same. As 5-a-side. I remember playing 5-a-side the last time I played it, still thinking that I was fit because I had stamina like a decent amount, but I could just, as long as I got breaks, so I couldn't be the marathon runner, but I could run stop start forever, pretty much. In 5-a-side, you don't really get much stop start. It's just start, and I didn't factor that into my brain. The last time I played it, my lungs were flapping like broken.
It is interesting because we had three new players come in, fill up last night, and they were like mid-20s, proper gym goers. They say they go running all the time and stuff. And obviously, I'm overweight. So when we was playing, I know how to play football. I'm not.
It's the way you said that made me. I'm overweight.
Yeah, I am overweight. But reading the game is much more important than just running around like an headless chicken. And they was fucking blowing out of their ass after 25 minutes, like genuinely lying on the floor. And I was like,
my name is Optimus Prime.
You know what I mean? Like reading the game is much more important than just being a willing runner. There is a job for a willing runner, but yeah, you definitely have to be a bit more cautious about your approach, especially if you've not played in a while.
Yeah, I was a willy runner. Let's put it that way. Not a willing, but a willy runner because I was a bit of a cock. Nice, Silencer. Thank you for the prime. Love you, Silencer. Yeah, when I'm playing football games and I've got that sort of field view, I can be the engine. Like what was it? I was the Pilo of Pez. I was christened in one of our Pez streams because I could find the pass and I could play it on a football pitch. No, I just don't have that depth and spatial awareness. So I was only useful for my physical attributes, which were run like fuck, get the ball down the wing. If it's on my right foot, put a decent cross in. If it's on my left foot, turn around and pass it to someone else. One-footed, fast as fuck, no real vision. That was pretty much me. I was built for video games, not for football real life. I was so crap. So crap.
Well, you're in the right place.
Nice. I was like, my name is Optimus Prime. A bit of an odd tactic for football. I mean, to be fair, if you were like a 15, 20-foot robot, you'd probably have a decent, stomp. Oh, sorry, ref. I just stood on his toes. His fucking foot just left behind. Oh, no. Anyway, man, I miss PES co-op. Same. One day, we will be back in there. 3v3 co-ops, 2v2s, jobs are good uns. Some of the best streams that we've had on this have been on this channel have been playing PES co-op. But today's not that day. Today, though, we can talk about this. Wes Yin-Poole at Eurogamer has the article. It says everything announced in Sony's PlayStation State of Play February 2023. PS VR pleased. Nice. So Sony's first State of Play of 2023 is finished. In case you missed it, here's everything announced during the broadcast, including all the trailers. Stop in there for a second. Obviously, we will do what we usually do. We'll go through the article. If anything particularly stands out and we start talking about something at that point in time, I'll hit play on the trailers. If not, because there's a lot of trailers in here, and that was a 45-minute presentation, we don't want to spend 45 minutes of this show just on that, so we'll start skipping them back. If you do want us to go back and see anything in particular, then do feel free to let us know. So we got a handful of new PSVR 2 games, a handful of third-party games coming to PS4 and PS5, and a bucket full of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Brackets, if you were hoping for an announcement of Half-Life Alyx on PSVR 2, sorry, it was nowhere to be seen. Was that a rumour? Was that a thing? I didn't know that was kicking around.
I hadn't heard that, but I mean, no smoke without fire, right?
Yeah, I mean, we did mention Half-Life Alyx talking about VR on Wednesday, so we probably set that rumor mill in motion because, we are the mighty ICU. So it is what it is. Anyway, State of Play kicked off with a look at an upcoming PSVR 2 game, The Foglands. I'll hit play on this one. Is an atmospheric sci-fi western roguelike coming out in 2023. You fight monsters, scavenge loot, and try to make it back before the fog takes you. Here's the debut trailer. Do you know, if that wasn't monsters, if it was you fight others, scavenge loot, and try to get back before the fog, sounds like Warzone. And then you see the trailer.
Yeah, it also sounds like Metal Gear Survive.
Yeah, actually, when you put the monster bits in, yeah, definitely. Did you see Foglands?
No, I've only watched a few of these trailers. As I said, I do like to come in with some fresh perspective on this. I don't like to watch them all before me and you have a conversation. So as you're usually reading them out and playing them, I'm also playing them and watching them for the first time myself. There's only two that I've seen, and you probably guarantee which of those two that I've actually watched.
Well, this Foglands, I mean, this is the first time I'm seeing this. This is an interesting one. It's got, like, I don't know, what's that? It Takes Two. It's got like an It Takes Two meets The Mandalorian vibe. And when I say that, I mean, when The Mandalorian, I'm talking about like the sandy deserts in the middle of nowhere, and I can't remember what is it called, Cad Bane or something, the dude that popped up in the last season and so on. There's bits of that. Oh, now we're getting into the gameplay stuff actually. So it's all right. It's all right. It looks okay.
I think it's a step in the right direction for PSVR, though. It looks good.
Yeah. So this is where I have to peel things back. So the Foglands, we just watched through that whole trailer. It looked okay. In terms of, it was decent VR content. There was good animation in there. I'm trying to remember the name of the game. There was a game on PlayStation that, was it Little Monsters or Little Nightmares or something like that?
Little Nightmares.
It looked a bit like Little Nightmares, but with the 3D sort of gun shootery sort of animation stuff. So it looked nice. It's not really my sort of game. I'd probably, if I had a PSVR, I would probably play it because it was there and there's not much to choose from. But it wouldn't be something that would drag me into PSVR. Let's put it that way. So it's a nice soft opener. Next up, we got a brief look at another upcoming PSVR 2 game. Green Hell VR is a survival game set in the Amazon rainforest, and it's due out at some point this year. I'll play this one with a little bit of audio. See, now this is more my kind of vibe, like real-worldy sort of stuff. It looks a bit like
fucking hell, size of this moth.
Size of this moth. All right, JMK. What's the game? Is it Rust? Not Rust. Is it Rust? The one where you start off and you basically just have to chop down trees and build sorts of shit.
Yeah, so there's loads like that. There's like Daisy, there's Rust, there's Scum, there's fucking loads.
I just meant specifically because there was one bit where they would like chopping down a rock. It looked very much like that scene of Rust, but
right, okay, yeah. Rust, I think, is the most. I want to say most modern, but it's really not. It's been out for fucking ages at this point. But yeah, I get where you're coming from.
Would you play Green Hell VR?
Yes. Yeah, I think these are the type of games that I want VR for. I mean, the main ones are like Resident Evil and Skyrim and things like that. I want experiences, Graham. I don't want gimmicks. I want experiences, and these are the type of games that give you experiences.
Yeah, no, I agree. This one, I mean, let's skip it back. We've got decent. I mean, it's if I pause it here, you can see the trees aren't as complex as Hogwarts Legacy, as The Last of Us, as any of that sort of stuff. And that's always something you have to accept with VR. It's not going to look as good as your AAA games that are out there in any medium. But they look good. It looks good. And it's atmospheric enough that there's different light. There's probably more, I don't know if it is ray tracing in VR, but more of that sort of element of this better lighting, multiple light sources, enemies, tension. This is definitely something that I'd be interested in playing in. So if I was choosing between this and Foglands, Green Hell VR is definitely more my kind of thing. Okay, pinning that one. Following that, In Dreams revealed its new VR game, Synapse, which is due out in 2023 on PSVR 2. Okay, let's give it a little bit of a watch. Let's skip forward through. Very artistic, atmospheric. Black and white mixed with colours. It's got a bit Death Stranding vibes in it. What's the VR game where you're in like a white room?
Super hot.
Super hot. It's almost like a higher fidelity super hot, where there's just lots
of... You know what it reminds me of?
What?
Waypoint. Is that what it was called? It's the one that you had that gimmick gun for. Farpoint, Waypoint, something point.
Yeah.
It was on the original PlayStation VR. That's what it reminds me of.
I think Farpoint might be it. Farpoint, I think, is more something like that.
Yeah, definitely. Like I say, it definitely has some super hot elements in there, like how fast you are and style kills. Well, it doesn't show you style kills, but I imagine that's part of the process of it.
So it looked okay, solid enough. It looks like the arcade shooters you get only in VR. So Silence. I agree. I mean, this is. I'm trying to not judge it until we've seen the full package, because my issue with it is the same thing I said the other day. Like, obviously, we mentioned Half-Life Alyx in the intro, but having no Half-Life Alyx is actually quite a big thing in terms of it doesn't have to be that game specifically, but what it is missing is the punch, the big showstopper. Actually, let me take this Chrome source off. Let me jump back over to the Duos. That's the one. Sorry, lots of noise. I'm going to jump us into Gameplay Duos screen. I know there's no gameplay on there, but I can bring up the...
We need to make one for... You know, when we used to do conferences?
What, with us down the side kind of thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For stuff, especially when we're looking back at like Nindy Directs and stuff like that, it'd be perfect, wouldn't it?
So I've got me and you on the screen now because we'll be off the screen for quite a while. So I'll put us on the screen here now. Yeah. So the issue for me is it loses the big punch moment. I was trying to not say it until we'd seen all of the VR bits, but you are right. It does look like a shooter that you will only get in VR, which is either exactly what you're buying VR for, or it's just a bit of VR novelty. And if it's what you're buying VR for, then that's great. You've tapped into what will sell the system. And if it's just VR novelty, then it's great. You've just tapped into the reason why people will be disappointed if they buy the system after a month of having it. So we've seen Foglands first, which was obviously very different from the other two. You got a minute of the artistic sort of styling, and then you get futuristic shooter sort of video game. Then there's Green Hell VR, which looks like your Rust style survival. Then we've got Synapse, which is a futuristic sci-fi shooter. Now, after that, here's a surprise. Journey to Foundation is a PSVR 2 game set in Isaac Asimov's Foundation universe. Foundation isn't something I would have thought would translate well as a VR action game, so I'm curious to see more. Here is the trailer, says the article. Do you know anything about Foundation?
Never heard of it.
Same. Let me skip forward. I want to see the actual gameplay. So we've got sci-fi, ship taking off, developer graphics, the gameplay itself inside. So we're moving around, we're seeing the characters. Looks decent enough.
Have you noticed how much more pretty it looks on VR2 compared to the original one? Considering that both lenses are both 1080 now. Like, it just looks so much better. Like everything looks better.
Looking at the characters in it, like people, you notice it the most. They're still not PS5 level graphics for people, but they are PS3, early PS4, whereas PSVR was like PS2 level graphics. You were pretty much running around as Snake from Metal Gear Solid 1 on the PlayStation for 1998, like super low polygon.
Why'd you do him dirty like this?
Journey to Foundation, Experience the Universe, autumn 2023. So another sci-fi sort of shooter. Very atmospheric trailer, very little out that we're seeing to show the actual gameplay being tested in there. So it looks like you've got problem solving, some cutscene VR stuff, some pistoly bits that you got to shoot. It's all right. Not too far away from Synapse, so I would have spread those out if I was putting those two together in a trailer. But we move ahead. The fifth and final PSVR 2 game shown during the broadcast was the eye tracking Before Your Eyes, which is due out on the 10th of March. And that's next month. So they finished with the one that you can get your hands on first. Nice. So we'll hit play on this one.
You see that tower out there? Big,
so we're going more
one.
fancy Skybound games.
To see the gatekeeper.
Yeah, this is definitely one that wouldn't be on my playlist.
Just think.
Skip forward.
Right.
Yeah, this is... Do you know what? I would say the same.
Hey, you.
However,
Over here.
this one actually speaks to me more than the last two.
Really? It's Chloe.
Because it's not my kind of game. And only more because of the history as well. So the history of me playing games, should I say. Sorry, I'm distracted by getting rid of things off the screen. So looking at this, it's not my art style. It's a weird sort of the world's going around you, but it also has some of those vibes that not a Little Big Planet, Unfolded, Tearaway, Unfolded, and things like that had. Games that were so much better if you get past yourself stopping you play them. So when I see something like this, like Roki, which was made by CI Games, was a game that looked fucking incredible. Once I get past the fact that it's not boots on the ground, real world sort of shooter kind of thing. This one, because of what it potentially has, maybe it looks like emotive, problem solving, touching your heartstrings, and that sort of relationship stuff that you get in It Takes Two. versus being a shooter. In that sort of sense, if I wanted to play something that I wanted to hit me in the feels, maybe this one could be good at that. And if it is, that would put it ahead of the other two, which on paper are more my kind of games. So there we go. Foglands, Green Hell VR, Synapse, Foundation on PSVR 2, and then what was the last one called? Before Your Eyes. Thoughts, babe?
Yeah, I mean, there's a few in there that I probably would end up wanting to play. Green Hell probably being the pick of the bunch, if I'm being honest. I think the bottom of the list would probably be Before Your Eyes. Everything else in between. Yeah, Foglands looks cool. But yeah, in terms of VR stuff, if those was coming out tomorrow, and I had to pick a couple of them, I think Green Hell and Foglands would be the ones I end up picking.
If I was to go, I would probably similar. I'd Green Hell first is definite my standout favourite there. And I'd probably go for the one that you wouldn't. Just because VR for me is an experience, because it's new, and that's a new experience, so it would work well with it in that sort of sense. It could work. It could be toilet, and it doesn't look like my kind of game, so therefore it might not be my kind of game. After that, I'd probably same. Foglands, I would probably, on paper, not choose that over the two that followed it, the two that followed Green Hell, should I say, Synapse and Foundation, but it just looked better, looked more polished, looked more eerie, better atmosphere. So yeah, I'd go for those. So there you go. Either way, if you've got PSVR, there is 5 games that are coming over the next year or so. Probably some others as well that aren't in this that will be indie devs. I imagine there'll be a lot of games ported over because that's money left on the table for developers as well. So if you are interested in PSVR 2, there is stuff coming. Whether it's enough to keep you satisfied is the one thing that you have to weigh up. There's a reason we're open to VR. We love the idea of VR, but actually investing such a monumental amount of money for not that much content it's an expensive outlay, and it's not one that we're willing to do right now. I mean, just like add all of those trailers together that we've just seen, and that is less coverage that we're going to get for one game later on in this article that's coming to PlayStation 5, and PlayStation 5's cheaper. You know where your money's going. Let's go. Okay, moving on from PSVR 2, we got a launch trailer for Destiny 2 expansion Lightfall, which comes out next week. The fancy new cinematic is below, which I'll just hit play on. I'm going to mute it because Destiny often has music in, and we don't want copyright strikes and stuff. Yes, it looks like the Traveller is actually going to pull its finger out and do something. Have you been keeping up with Destiny, babe?
I haven't. I did actually reinstall it 2 weeks ago on my Xbox, though, with a view to getting back into it. I mean, I am so far behind in terms of expansions and things like that it would take me forever to get up to date. However, the gameplay in Destiny is so good, man. Like, the amount of things that you're able to do in there, like, the game just goes on forever and ever and ever. And obviously, with new expansions like this coming out, I imagine it's going to keep Nico preoccupied for a couple of days, at least.
Yeah, I mean, Destiny looks incredible, as always. I feel like Destiny's at that point, though, like, where it needs a way to get people back in, but almost like an idiot's guide. It needs a new user onboarding program, because there's so much. Like, even this trailer for an expansion, that's it. It's expanding on what's there. Why, there's a dude that looks like Thomas the Tank Engine floating through the sky. Like, who is Thomas the Tank Engine? Why is he there, and what is he doing? Why is this big Thanos guy coming out at the end? It looks badass, but for me, I need to bring him back up to speed. More than happy to help you get up to speed. There you go.
Yeah, Adam knows the vibe. He is Destiny through and through. He was actually really, really into PUBG at one point as well. I don't know whether or not he still plays it. He was really good at it. Probably even better than you, Graham. I don't believe it.
Does Adam stream? Do you stream, Adam? Have I watched Adam stream PUBG, or was that someone else?
No, that was Luke. He's also a PUBG enthusiast.
I'm going to say he's definitely not better than me. I was hoping it was Adam so I could throw some shade, but
no, it isn't him.
And speaking about throwing shade, Shaw
there he
is here. I'll read Shaw. How did you get on Wow. Hey, Silmira, welcome in. How did you get on? I was lurking yesterday for a little bit. Yesterday was a pretty busy day. We didn't even scoop we were that busy, but did you, I dropped in at one point in time. Did you miss out on a Dratini? Like, I was trying to catch up, but I had fucking something that was there, so I had to stop paying attention. But like at the bit that I dropped in, were you trying to get? So for those that don't know, Show was raising money for youth homeless. Yesterday, was it yesterday? With us not streaming, it was yesterday. Yeah, he had a couple of Pokemon games that he was playing through, like Nuzlocke challenges and so on, and he set himself challenges where he had to be able to name a stat from a Pokemon, one of their base stats, so their speed, attack, defense, whatever. And he has to name it exactly, which is it a stat out of 100? So he has to name one on the money, and then he gets to keep it. If he doesn't, he has to ditch it. And Dratini, for those that may know Pokemon, is a red dragon Pokemon, and yeah, I missed out on Dratini, but ended up catching 2 Dragonites later on. All right, settle down. Okay, we're trying to build it up to say, look, how you did all this hard work for charity, and there you go, running around with 2 Dragonites. Good. But yeah, Googers, nice. Also, that crowd control stuff. Me and Bibby were perving at your stream the other day after we finished up when we raided you. That crowd control, how did you get on with that? That stuff looks cool.
Mm-hmm.
But anyone from Show's stream, please do feel free to grab yourself a seat, settle down. We are running through Eurogamer's article on everything that was announced in the State of Play. So this is the scoop. We run through the biggest stories breaking. And for us, obviously, the headline story was the fact that there was a PlayStation State of Play last night, which I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people have missed it, because apart from us mentioning it, I'm not seeing it really being discussed, like apart from a news article, but then it just goes and it's gone. So yeah, we'll bring you up to speed. So we're just talking about Destiny 2. Destiny 2 Lightfall, the expansion has come out. It looks good, but we don't know enough about Destiny to say too much on that. So we'll move ahead. Nice. Next up was the lovely looking Chia. I think that's how it's pronounced, which launches onto the PS Plus catalogue in March. That's a day one release. So day one onto PS Plus in terms of, is that going to be like a free for everyone on PS Plus, or is that going to be a PS Plus super duper mega upper tier? Nobody knows what PS Plus is called. Even PlayStation. No. Okay, let's do some skipping through. So it does look lovely. To be fair, it says lovely looking. It looks. We're looking Disney Pixar-esque sort of.
Yeah. What was it, Kenna Bridge of Spirits?
Yeah,
it's got that kind of vibe.
Do you know? I never played that. I bought it as well. I never played it. Surprise, surprise.
I'm about to say, add that to the pile.
Yeah. Bridge of Spirits. It looks freaking amazing. I was doing that this morning. It was great. I had to stop a bit prematurely because diabetes is acting up, but it's brilliant. Well, diabetes is brilliant. I don't think it... I mean, it can be, I suppose, but, you know... Nah, I'm joking to get you. Palmer! All right, darling. How you doing, love? Yeah? Sort it right here. Also, Shogun having to stop prematurely it's not the first time it's happened, and it's probably not going to be the last. But hey, here we are. It's fine. Hi, I am here all stream with my humor things. Way. Pics are Lake. Are you okay? I don't know what's happening. Why is the smokehead guy dressed like Pinhead from Hellraiser? I don't know. It's Thomas the Tank Engine bondage episode. That's what it was. For those that don't know what that is, that was the Destiny bit before you came in. If you came in with Show's raid, so hi. Show also says no, but I you know, fair play. You're not wrong. Anyway, Sony then revealed new games coming to the PS Plus in March. The list includes Battlefield 2042, Minecraft Dungeons, and Code Vein. Up next was a look at the next game from Enhance, the maker of the wonderful Rez and Tetris Effect. Humanity is due out May 2023 on PS5, PS4, 4, PSVR, and PSVR 2. A demo is out today. Thoughts, babe? Humanity, have you seen it at all?
Yeah, it looks toilet. It's definitely not my kind of game at all. It's a puzzle game. I like puzzle games, but this is definitely not one that I will be looking to jump into.
Do you know what it looks like for me? A complex... No. Well, yeah, I suppose a bit of that, but a more complex Lemmings, but with humans. Like it's basically Lemmings, but in 3D. Oh no! You've got to get them to the end of the zone without killing them. That's basically the gist of it.
You know what the difference between this and Lemmings? Lemmings was fucking awesome.
That is true. That is true.
And this does not look awesome.
If this is your bag, then enjoy. But yeah, I played Lemmings at an age when Lemmings was the best that gaming offered. Now, there is lightsaber fights though, so there is that. Lemmings didn't have lightsaber fights. Okay, fuck it. This is the best game that the world has ever seen. Yeah. Let's get involved. Okay, it's now getting complex as hell. So there you go. Humanity due out 2023. If you've got a PSVR game and you want to mix things up, PSVR. Oh, it's PSVR as well, yeah. So that if you want to mix things up, then do feel free to jump in on that. Teen Dinosaur narrative game Goodbye Volcano High comes out on PS5, PS4, 15th of June, and here's the new trailer. Goodbye Volcano High. Is that a bit of bib?
No, it looks like a rhythm game mixed in with like a social game. If that makes any sense. So you have to design your band's logo by the looks of it, and yeah, this is definitely not for me.
This is absolutely Bridie. This is Bridie through and through.
Yeah, this is Bridie. Yeah, this is 100% Bridie game.
Like we used to have a segment on the channel. For those that don't know Bridie, then do you know what? Look at you, God. That only works when she's here. But she used to have a segment that she called Twee Tuesdays, where she played Twee games that she liked, and that could be anything from Pigeon Dating Simulator to whatever. Goodbye Volcano High is definitely a Twee Tuesday game for Bridie. Friday. Nice. It's just Friday and local derby in hockey. Okay, nice. Lemmings was the granddad of Worms, and Liero is Finnish Worms. There you go. Did not know that. There you go. Next up, we got an announcement trailer for Naruto X Boruto. Is Boruto a thing?
I don't know. That feels like someone's taking the piss.
I feel like, it sounds like some Mexican food that's like a big wrap. I know that's a burrito. Shit joke. Just allow it, okay? Next up, we got an announcement trailer for Naruto X Boruto Ultimate Ninja Storm Collections. Just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it?
That sounds so Japanese.
Let's have a look. Who's Boruto?
I have no idea.
I mean, I
couldn't pick out who Naruto is. Is that the guy with the headband?
I'm gonna say yes, but I don't actually know.
With the yellow hair, because there's a guy with a headband with, I think, blue hair as well. I know what a Naruto run is, but I don't know who Boruto is.
Boruto is Naruto's son. It's Pooh. Oh, okay, there you go. So there you go. If you're interested in, I'm not even going to name a game. Like, is Naruto the name of the game? Liero's not finished. It's only 24.
I'm old enough to get that.
It's only 28. And you name me.
Classic.
Is there ever going to be a week that goes by where someone doesn't mention that on an Ice Cream Upload stream? He's no finish, he's 28. I mean, having Lake here, who's Finnish, he's no finish, he's 28, as well, just adds to the percentage chance of that happening as well. Yeah. So you're never allowed to leave Lake, by the way. Just so you know.
There's that and the argument that a player is closer to 29 than they are 28. The whole Facebook, that those are the two that always stand out to me when it comes to football arguments.
There's no finish. Moving on, Larian Studios offered up a fresh look at the promising Baldur's Gate 3, which now has a release date of 31st of August 2023. Oh yeah, it's coming out on PS5 alongside PC. Can't wait. I'll tell you a story. Okay, I'll leave a little bit of volume on this one. Baby game.
And when I tried to buy it back,
it whiffs of it, doesn't it?
I must finish what I started. Death's design will be complete.
Discover Ketheric's secret.
This has actually been made by Bibby. This is definitely a Bibby game.
Oh, so easy to please.
I mean, just make one big one called World of Skyrim Gate and just put them all together.
Bibby's Gate.
Ketherick is a frightening man, but you have something he doesn't. Allies worth having.
Together, we will strike down the Absolute.
It's PUBG now, there's a polar bear.
It's so badass.
So I think we can safely establish Bibby's not interested in this.
No, it's one bit.
Tell me a bit about Baldur's Gate. What's it about?
Do you know what, Graham? I've genuinely never played any of the other two. I haven't played them.
Interesting. Well, do you know that's good news because stick around for the free game Friday announcements later on. Just saying. Next up, Wayfinder is an online multiplayer adventure. The beta is PlayStation exclusive from 28th of February. Here's a new trailer. It's got very Overwatch vibe to the design sort of stuff. I'm going to keep skipping forward, like the logo. Then we get to...
I actually quite like the look of this. I need to see what's capable with the campaign and stuff because I like the fact that it looks very Genshin. I like the fact that it's got the little quest reminders on the right hand side. I love that it's got a little mini map there too. Your abilities in the bottom right hand corner. All of your your party's health and stuff in the top left hand. Like all of this looks great. I'm happy with this. It's just gameplay and what's the to do in the game. What's the aim of it? Because it's speaking to me at this moment in time.
It's definitely speaking to me as well. It's saying play something else. There's PUBG over there. Nice. Hey. Okay, so that's Wayfinder. Next up, Capcom revealed the first look at Zangief, Newcomer Lily, and Cammy in Street Fighter 6. Yes, Street Fighter 6 looks incredible. Zangief main, here I come. This is a good time for me to say, quick, change the channel, because that's what Zangief says in the Street Fighter movie, so skadoosh. Zangief just got his mask clotheslined off his face. Sheesh. Okay, 3.5 minutes. Skipping forward. To be fair, Street Fighter 6... Oh, I was going to say, it's not skipping here, but it started again. Street Fighter 6 does look badass. It looks really, really good. It's still, obviously, left to right fighting game, but it looks really good. I definitely still think Tekken looks better, though. Sorry, Capcom. I know. Tekken just looks so much better. But still, there you go. Capcom wasn't done there, though. It revealed a new trailer for Resident Evil 4 Remake, which comes out next month. A special demo is coming soon. Look at his face. Look at his face.
Stare to that face.
Are you going to be playing some Resident Evil 4 VR if we get VR access, babe?
100%. I'll play it VR. I'll play it non-VR. I'll fucking play it with my eyes closed, eyes open. I don't care. I'm playing this game. I mean, I am going to go on record, Graham. I mean, it's not this is not controversial coming out of my mouth at all. But I've mentioned this a million times. Resident Evil 4 is a very good game. It's not the best Resident Evil game. It's a game that set the foundations for how we play third-person games going forward. I definitely think it was the start. It was the beginning of the end of what the Resident Evil franchise was going to be before we ended up getting Resident Evil 7 and getting right back on track. Or Revelations 1 and 2 obviously helped with that as well, but I still think this looks cheesy as fuck. I don't think this is as intimidating as the remakes of 2 and 3 was.
Yeah.
I believe 2 and 3 would probably be a much better game than what this is going to be. Because they're remaking a game that wasn't scary and was batshit crazy. And you can't really change those elements. I watched this. This is one of the 2 trailers that I've actually watched. And I still think, yeah, this looks sick. This looks like a Resident Evil game. This looks fantastic. I can't wait to play it, but still there's a part of me that thinks I'm playing Resident Evil 4 again. Like, I'm not as excited to play this than I was the other 2. And that's a little bit disappointing in my opinion.
No, I agree. Even just then, there was a bit where it was Indiana Jones-esque, where they were in a cart that just jumped across a gap and then landed on the other side on rails kind of thing. I've gone too far, I think. There you go. Oh, no, that's a bit too far. Just missed it. Fuck. We land. This is the step after we were in a police station and had some big dude chasing us around and so on. So I know it's not real, but it was more realistic in terms of that. There was none of this over the top, like Hollywood-esque. I'm going to sneeze again.
Yeah, I absolutely understand where you're coming from with it, and that's the campiness that's always, from my perspective, had a stigma against this game. And I will never say Resident Evil 4 was a bad game, because it wasn't. It was a very, very fun game to play, but it doesn't give me the same vibes that Resident Evil 2 and 3 did with the remakes and the originals. Like Resident Evil 1 is goated. Like I'm a bit disappointed that we didn't get a remake of that at some point. Like I know it's already been remade. It got made for the GameCube way back when. And it's a fantastic, fantastic game. Even the first one's still more than playable, but it didn't get the third-person over-the-shoulder treatment.
I mean, if The Last of Us Part 1 can get remade, then surely Resident Evil 1 can get remade. Because it's had a few, like, let's just, I won't say remastered, modernizations, making it a bit more accessible to people, but it's still not, for people like me, who played it back in the day, didn't play it all the way through. It was like, oh, that was cool. And then just kind of hasn't really done much with Resident Evil since. It would be a great way to get me back into it. I do feel, though, looking at this, Resident Evil 4, it's like it's got the zombies and stuff that we've just seen in Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3. It's got that scariness, but I'm sniping someone from a million miles away to save someone. I'm jumping between tracks like Indiana Jones. I feel like it's got Uncharted level Hollywood graphics and cutscenes as part of the gameplay, which just lifts me away from the "you're going to shit your pants" sort of vibes.
The terror of we've had that with 7 and 8. Obviously 8 being Village. You had the element of, do you really want to go through this door because you can't see through the other side? Obviously it was in first person, so that kind of had another different element to it, but obviously now you can play Resident Evil 8 in third person if you wanted to. But yeah, there's something about this, and I think it is just because it's Resident Evil 4. I imagine if they ever go to do 5, I'm going to have the exact same feeling about that. It just doesn't have the bite and the magic that I feel the 2 and 3 as survival horror games. This isn't survival horror, in my opinion. This is more action adventure. So I'm super excited to play it. It's another Resident Evil game. It'll 100% be being added to my collection with the rest of them that are on the shelf above me here. I'm looking forward to it. There's an overlying thing around this game, and I don't like to dunk on Resident Evil at all. Obviously, I'm a super fan of Resident Evil, but I can distance myself away and just say it's not. It's the best game ever. It's genuinely not. It's genuine. Resident Evil 4 is not the best game ever. I know it's the top of a lot of people's lists, but it's not. There's a lot of flaws in this game, and the terror, the survival element, the horror, the anxiousness, everything that goes along with the original 3 just doesn't feel right with this. And I know why this is the case, because this was the time when moving into a 3D environment was cool. It was the thing that they needed to do. They needed to move away from tank controls. I know that. I'm not daft enough to think that tank controls would still be a viable option. I mean, there is games nowadays that actually have tank controls being built into it as an element of the gameplay, but it was at a time when the GameCube was super trendy and they needed a 3D environment game. They're going to take something like Resident Evil with Leon Kennedy and make that into not a survival game anymore, more of a marketable Hollywood game. And that's exactly what this is. They've hit every nail on the head when they're trying to achieve that. It's just unfortunate that they've taken a franchise that give you the element of horror, of shitting yourself, not going through the door, realizing that you don't have enough ammo left in your gun, and you're going to have to bob and weave in between all of the zombies to try and conserve it. You only have one herb left. Like, all of those things got put away when this game came out, and that is the disappointing thing for me. The remake in the game, it could be absolutely amazing. It could be just as good as 2 and 3 in terms of the gameplay mechanics. You've seen there the dodge mechanic and the counter mechanic, all of that stuff, cool as shit. Absolutely love it. It's just not going to be anywhere near as scary, and I want that. I feel like we went the right way with Dead Space and Resi 7 and 8, and Daymare, all of these other games that have started to come out with horror elements, and this is a step in the in the wrong direction. But it's Resident Evil 4. That's what they're making. They're not gonna completely do away with history before it. I mean, they did it with the Clock Tower, in Resident Evil 3. But this is Resident Evil 4. They're basing it off of that game. The story's already been written. They can't change it. It's the same as what they did with Last of Us Part 1 remake. Like, they couldn't change the story of that. They just made it more modern, more pretty, much better resolution, much better frame rate, and put it in a much more playable condition. That's what I feel like they had to do with this, and it's such a shame. It's such a shame.
So, in essence, it could be decent, but it's not quite as good as you'd expect. Speaking of which, Nietzsche's in the chat. I'll read.
My second favourite, Jordy.
Who's
Not even our first one.
I was going to say, who's your first? Ant?
Yeah, it's got to be Deck.
Yeah, Deck, definitely, 100%.
It's a hair.
It's a hair. Wow, goths. good after mornish. Nice. I've never played anything after Resident Evil 2, seeing that I couldn't even recognize it as a Resi game. It looks like a knockoff. I agree. I mean, it doesn't look like same. Exactly what Baby's just said. Doesn't look like a bad game. Just doesn't look like what you'd expect from a Resi game. It looks like Indiana Jones and the Resident Evil of Doom kind of thing. That's
Resident Steven, this.
Nice. Okay, after that then, so we finished up with all of the game announcements. We've gone through the VR stuff and all the other bits there, and then we finish off with a flourish. And that flourish, as we knew before the State of Play was going to happen, would be Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. So I'll jump back into the article. It says, and finally, we got the expected deep dive into Rocksteady's Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. Due out 26th of May. The first video, which shows off co-op gameplay, is below. Have you watched any of these trailers, babe?
Yes, this is this was the second one that I'd watched, because these are the two. These are the pick of the bunch, in my opinion, for games that I'm looking forward to. I think this looks great. It doesn't look like the kind of game that I thought we was going to be getting, if I'm being honest. It feels like I'm watching like a Crackdown game mixed with Guardians of the Galaxy. That's the kind of vibe that I'm getting with it. I think this game is definitely lending itself towards humor and fun. And I think they might end up achieving it with this. It feels like it's a free hit game. It's a Rocksteady game, so we know it's going to be rock solid. But I don't know. I don't think this is what I was expecting.
You know, I saw that a lot last night. I'll turn this down as low as I can get it. I saw this a lot last night. The general consensus that I could see was people were actually disappointed because Rocksteady is a developer that you can count on. They are Rocksteady, literally, in that sort of sense. But the bit that I saw was people going, so have Rocksteady literally just looked at Avengers and gone, oh, we'll have a bit of that. And I don't know if that's like mentioned in the behind-the-scenes content stuff. I mean, the gameplay looks good. The gameplay looks cool. Like, we're currently watching Harley Quinn flipping around, shooting people, flying through the sky, using grappling hooks and all the rest. That looks cool. It's just like, are they not going for a story game then? Have they gone for that games as a service, season passy sort of vibe to it? If that is the case, then...
Yeah, I feel like this definitely has some sort of jeopardy in it. I feel like this is going to live and die by how fun the gameplay is. They've got the characters there. I believe the characters will be great in this. They've got a nice blend, but I hate verticality in any game, and this is just one of those that you're just lingering in the air forever, and there's no fall damage or anything like that. And I don't know, I think that might just be a bit too cheesy for me. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm not going to judge it just yet. I mean, it's a full 6 minutes worth of gameplay here, which I wasn't expecting. I know it's a deep dive, but 6 minutes worth of gameplay. Never see that. So yeah, I don't know, Graham. This was definitely one of my most eagerly anticipated titles. I don't know how far this has fallen down the pecking order after watching this gameplay.
I mean, the interesting thing though is I said the interesting thing, disappointing thing. I'm going to say the world actually backs up what I was kind of expecting in terms of Rocksteady have done a really good job with building Arkham City in their previous games, and this looks as detailed. There's so much stuff going on around it. My biggest issue, though, is that all of these things that they fight in, be it tanks, be it helicopters, be it big mecha fucking robot things, all fall into that trope of video games where it's like, do you shoot it everywhere? No, there is one thing that looks like an ulcer that's just glowing. In this game, it's purple. On other games, it might be red or orange or whatever. Just keep shooting the purple ulcer until it pops. Kill all 3 purple ulcers, and then you can take it down. And I'm thinking, oh, okay, on a tank. But then there's a helicopter flying along with a purple ulcer below it. He's shooting a big purple ulcer on some gun now. He shot some kneecap, which had a purple ulcer sort of thingy on it as well. I'm being critical off of this. I've not seen this before, so I don't have any pre-built expectations. I'm actually being critical in terms of that sense. This makes me be a little less excited. It looks very like bullet fire heavy sort of stuff. I was expecting a little bit more story, but then again, it's a co-op gameplay trailer, so what really am I expecting from that? And then here's an extended look with comments from various Rocksteady staff. Yes, there's a battle pass and a mention of new playable characters post-launch. This one's a live service, it says in an 8-minute video here. So there was 15 minutes overall. That split obviously across the 6 minutes here. This though, like, is looking. I'm starting to see more cool stuff here. I'm starting to see the storyline. I'm starting to see cutscenes. I'm starting to see more of the world. You see flashes of Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman and the Green Lantern and obviously the Justice League. It does look cool when I see that sort of stuff. I'm going to have to sit down and watch them through back to back, get 15 minutes and just go through them together so I can fully feel. At the moment, I'm kind of mixed. Watching the co-op gameplay just looks a bit, like you mentioned, the verticality. I'm thinking of the green purple pus sacks that I've got to fucking shoot, the ulcer things. Just looked a bit like, jump, shoot, which...
The PS2 feature that.
It is.
Down this bottom, shooting its weak points.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you put the thing is though, is there was multiple people doing the same thing. You play Spider-Man, you felt like Spider-Man. That is what made it exceptional. What makes you feel like the Flash? Super speed. What makes you feel like Harley Quinn? I mean, you're a human being, so you'll have to add some attitude into that. What makes you feel like Deadshot or whatever it's called? Pinpoint accuracy. Okay, well, just getting headshots after headshots is quite difficult. So they do have a very difficult job here balancing those, because the Flash, in theory, is OP. You can't compete with the Flash. So, like, that's why there's never been a really good Superman game, because you can't make a game where you are the fastest, strongest, most bulletproof man alive. And that's what the Flash is. So trying to do that sort of stuff in it is difficult. But from what I saw from those couple of like minutes that we watched across both trailers, I didn't see anything that made me feel, okay, that's the Flash bit. Okay, that's that bit. It was just all blue, 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 blue. It could have been Halo. It could have been Halo for all I was looking at. So, yeah, I'll have to watch it through. The second trailer looks like it was given a bit more of the stuff that I wanted going into it, but that first one, I know it was just co-op, so that's a bit different from playing through a story, but it felt just a bit too chaotic for me. Honestly, that's my opinion. Good job it isn't a Square Enix live service, otherwise it'd be dead by the end of the year. I mean, it could be. It could be dead by the end of the year. It could be dead by within a couple of years. I mean, Avengers got a good run for most live service games, but it didn't get a good run for what people were expecting from an Avengers game. So Avengers folding, is it either at the end of Feb or later in the summer kind of things, late spring, when it wraps up. Shouldn't have happened. Should have been going a bit further. But yeah. Nietzsche says in response to Rocksteady, he prefers Bebop. Nice turtle reference for you there. Nice.
Well, we've dragged this out for about an hour and 10 minutes. So, do we just give the free game Friday?
I think we do. We'll just jump straight over. I'm not even going to take the thing off screen. I'll just jump straight over to my next bit of news, which is March 2023's PlayStation Plus Essential Games have been announced. This is written by Chris Scullion at VGC, and it says Battlefield 2042, Minecraft Dungeons. You know what? At this point, I will jump back over to the split screen there. There we go. Battlefield 2042, Minecraft Dungeons, and Code Vein will be free, quotes, to subscribers. Sony Interactive Entertainment has officially confirmed that the PS Plus Essential Games for March 2023 are Battlefield 2042 for PS5 and PS4, Minecraft Dungeons for PS4, and Code Vein for PS4. Subscribers will be able to claim the games from March the 7th until April the 3rd. February 2023's PlayStation Plus Essential Games are still available to claim until March the 6th. So if you haven't got them, you've got just under a couple of weeks left yet to get them claimed. And that is Ollie Ollie World PS5, PS4, Mafia Definitive Edition for PS4, Evil Dead the Game for PS5 and PS4, and Destiny Beyond Light for PS5 and PS4. That's DLC. Thoughts, babe?
Yeah, some bangers in there. Big bangers.
Battlefield going free. I mean, you played the game about a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
And didn't have a bad time with it.
No, still have a good time with it.
Yeah, you said it was a decent price at £10. So is it a decent price when it's free?
Yeah, I mean it's £7 in Argos at the moment for anyone that wants a physical version of this game. So yeah, it's definitely worth your time, even if you're just spending 2 or 3 hours with it, just to have a look at how far it's come from the day that it came out to how far we've come to now. I think it's a night and day difference. It's definitely worth 2 or 3 hours of your time.
Yeah, 100%. And then finishing up, let me give you one of these exclamation mark FF in the chat.
Game
Friday. We'll jump back over to Morgan Park at PC Gamer, where we usually jump over, and Epic Store free games right now. So outside of the holidays, as always, Epic sticks to a weekly schedule of handing out freebies. So keep an eye out for each week's new free choice, and that for this week is Duskers. We all need our alone time, and this week's Epic freebie offers all the solitude you could want and more. In Duskers, you play as a drone operator remotely controlling salvage robots to pick through the bones of derelict ships. Alone in a procedural graveyard universe, you'll direct your drones with a command line interface, seeing only what they detect on their sensors for however long those sensors last in this permadeath roguelike. Doesn't sound like my kind of game. Doesn't look like my kind of game, but it's free. So it might still be in my kind of library. I don't know. We'll see if I remember to do it or not. But that is free right now. That will be free until March the 2nd. Next Thursday, 4 p.m, you will be able to grab Duskers. After that, Rise of Industry will be the next free game. But we'll tell you about that next week. Nice. So some good games. Battlefield. Yeah. Duskers on PC, Code Vein, Minecraft Dungeons. Quite a variety there, and some good names in it too. So PS Plus is absolutely nailing it at the moment.
Yeah, it's slapping at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah. So for the first time in about 18 months, obviously we're not comparing like for like. Xbox Game Pass is still a better service. 100% exclamation mark Game Pass in the chat if you're Tito. I mean, if you're interested. But Luke's Slacky, mate. Nice. I forgot my Slack was open. Yes, Xbox is the better offering, but PS Plus over this last month has just had a better month in terms of content, in terms of quality output and so on. So I wonder, it'd be interesting to see if they keep up this momentum, whether they're planning an assault or whether it was just a good month where all the stars aligned and they had a lot of content dropping that was great within quick session. We'll find out in the next 4, 5, 6 weeks-ish. For now, though, we are going to wrap things up. We appreciate you all for sticking around. We pretty much just went through last night's State of Play. We appreciate that there was news about Jedi Survivor and Shinji Mikami, but we'll talk to you about those next week now. We are out of time, so we'll have to shelve those for now. Do feel free to come back. If you are listening on the podcast services, particularly if you're listening on Amazon Music, hi, we are brand new. This is the first ever episode on there, despite being 698 episodes into our podcast. So, hey, do feel free to go check out the back catalogue. You can listen to them across the other podcast services. Plus, if you're interested, you can join us on Twitch. We do have all of our previous streams highlighted. So if you want to see the back catalogue stretching 4 or 5 years, it will take you a long time with Twitch's navigation, but you can go through. I mean, it will take you a long time with Switch's navigation on Twitch as well. So, yeah. Chatbot, PS Plus, the superior pass for the superior console. Nice. At least for February 2023.
I say, what a wind-up merchant. Tito's rolling in his grave. He's not dead.
No, it spends a lot of time in graves. Oh, that's what we call it. It's his house. He just has a lot of grass around him, so it looks a little bit like a grave. And he's in his basement, so he's underground. So that's, it's fine. Yeah, we are going to wrap things up. We appreciate you sticking around, as mentioned. We will be back tomorrow at 10 a.m. ish for some Chasing Crates with Mates. If you want to see some PUBG gameplay, do feel free to come and join us then. On Sunday, Mr. Bibb, are you golfing?
I think so. Yeah.
Is that the reason for the cosplay?
Yes. This is. I mean, I didn't think that far ahead, Graham. If I'm being honest, but yeah. I'm going to be playing golf. I don't know if it's going to be for the entire stream. And I may have, because there's 2v2s available in the game now. I may have a doubles partner.
Ooh, I didn't even know about this. Ooh, spicy meatball. Interesting.
Yeah, so you'll find out on Sunday if that is the case. If not, we'll do some ranked gameplay. It's just me versus the world. But yeah, 2v2 looks like it could be getting spicy on Sunday morning.
Interesting. If you want to see any of that, do feel free to join us this weekend. Obviously, you can drop a follow to get notified whenever we do go live. But before we do go live, Mr. Bibb, is that what you want to add?
Yes, thank you very much to each and every one of you that have joined us for this first episode over at Anchor and on Amazon Music. Hi.
Nice.
If you want
Screw you, SoundCloud.
Yeah, fuck you. If you want to help shape the 5 shows next week, there is 2 ways that you can do so. First of all, find us on social media. Spoiler alert, it is at Ice Cream Uploads across all major social media platforms. Alternatively, go into the description of this video if you're watching on any of our on-demand services. All the links that you require will be listed there. But only from you is URL plus your thoughts and impressions. We will then give you our thoughts and impressions on the very next show, which will be at what time on Monday, Mr. Graham Day?
That will be at 10 a.m. Ish. We go live at 10 a.m. ish. We work in the video games industry, so the streams fit in around that. Sometimes it's close to 10 a.m., sometimes it's closer to 10 p.m., but it is the way it is. It just is the way it is. We appreciate you for showing up nonetheless, even if it is a little bit further on in the day. Just shows that you're good people. Nice. Couple of reminders. Obviously, do feel free to check out our sponsors, Astro, Insert Coin, GT Omega. They do help keep the lights and mics on, as you guys do with all of your subs and gifties and so on. You are our incredible people, and we appreciate all the support that you guys bring. Thank you to Silencer for dropping the prime, for Chappers for his 32-month sub, and Show for bringing in a raid this afternoon. You're all beautiful people. But for now, we're going to pass that love on to someone else. Stick around as we drop a raid on one of our friends. But until next time, we will see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Until then, stay frosty.